Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
But in a community that doesn't want to follow the executive order, the question becomes who's going to sue you.
Illinois' mask mandate in schools has parents divided. In addition to health and safety concerns, the state line superintendent fears lawsuits if his district doesn't comply.
For it to go 6 years and have all the support we do, it's fantastic.
Rockford area golfers just keep coming back to play in an annual event. Spending time on this course also benefits men and women in uniform struggling with mental health issues.
Friends, family, fun, and food. You can find all that at a Rockford festival this weekend. The folks who make Festa Italiana possible explain what makes the celebration so special. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. A 19-year-old Rockford man is arrested, accused of robbing a hotel clerk at gunpoint.
July 22nd, investigators say a man entered the Comfort Inn on Argus Drive and pointed a pistol at the front desk employee. The suspect demanded money and made away with an unknown amount of cash. Violent crime detectives secured a warrant for the arrest of Joseph Williams, Jr. He also faces armed robbery charges in Freeport. Williams is being held in the Winnebago County Jail. Investigators
in Lee County nab a man who they say started more than one fire in the state line and ran from police. Officers believe RANDALL STILES set a barn on fire in DeKalb County and torched a Walmart in Kendall County. Lee County Sheriff's deputies spotted his car Thursday and used spike strips to stop the vehicle. Stiles is charged with arson, DUI, and fleeing to elude.
Earlier this week, we told you all Illinois schools will be required to enforce masking rules for students and staff this fall. Districts that don't abide by these rules could lose school status.
Rachel Perry talked with a state line superintendent today. He's received some flack from parents for following the order. Rachel?
Mimi and Eric, the administrator says the district can't deny the governor's order and asks that parents just be kind.
They get called things like evil and coward and Nazi and communist. I thought it was really unfair. And I just want to let everyone know, like, your board members are not your enemies.
Backlash is hitting state line schools over Governor J.B. Pritzker's mask mandate.
We're enforcing a rule that we don't necessarily agree with, but we have to.
Meridian Superintendent P.J. Capozzi says litigation and liability are major concerns.
We are not entitled to insurance. So the insurance company can just say, thank you for wanting to be a part of us anymore. You are now not following the law, so we don't have to represent you anymore.
Capozzi says a COVID lawsuit isn't what he's afraid of.
It's that I'm worried about not being insured and getting in a bus accident or having a school catch fire.
The governor and state board are also threatening school status for those who don't comply.
But without status, you don't get state funding, which for us is over $7 million a year. You also don't get to be a part of IHSA, which also takes away our students' abilities to compete athletically.
And State Representative Joe Sosnowski believes masks should remain a choice.
Those who want that as an option, absolutely. Both teachers and students, if they think that's something that's important for them, we should leave that up to an individual choice.
He says the governor's executive orders are getting out of hand.
I think the executive orders have to stop. That's not, these ongoing 30 days, every 30 days, and continuing it well over a year. That's not what emergency orders were meant for.
And Capozzi says he understands that frustration.
We are on the same team largely. Even when we disagree, we're on the same team. We're the same community.
Capozzi asks that parents not attack school board members and refrain from using spiteful language. He says they are all trying their best and agree with the majority of parental concerns. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rachel. Amateur athletes hit the links to help first responders battling PTSD. The 6th annual Greg Lindmark golf outing is taking place at the Forest Hills Golf Course. It honors fallen police officer Greg Lindmark. He passed away in 2015. Greg's brother, Brad Lindmark, says participants and sponsors help his own family just as much as the officers they work with.
Some great sponsors, and that's really appreciated. It kind of shows what first responders mean to the community, in my opinion, that we get the response. It's an honor to Greg. It's an honor to our family. We actually heal through helping others.
The Greg Lindmark Foundation has given out more than $100,000 in assistance for first responders.
Boone County families in need took home some free groceries this afternoon. The Belvidere YMCA hosted a summer market. In addition to a car full of food, participants also got a free lunch and ice cream. This is the third giveaway of the summer. Each event helped around 100 families. Northern Illinois Food Bank, the FCA Foundation, and volunteers made the day possible.
The volunteers in the Belvidere community are fantastic. I've got high school students, we have the police department, we have local businesses, we have the chamber. It's just wonderful to see how all the people come out to support their community.
The Belvidere Y is also hosting a backpack and school supply giveaway tomorrow at General Mills Park. After a year off due to the pandemic, the Greater Rockford Italian American Association's back with the 42nd Festa Italiana.
Held on the grounds of Boylan High School, Festa honors local Italian heritage. After taking a year off, Rockford's longest-running festival returns with a weekend of Italian food and entertainment for the whole family. Organizers say they're thrilled to be back.
This is like a big family reunion. So on top of missing them for a whole year, it's, what we look forward to, being with all our friends and working for a good cause.
The three-day festival is a scholarship fundraiser, providing more than $745,000 over the past 41 years. The highlight of Festa every year has to be the food.
I made 100 gallons of red sauce the other day, 15 gallons of Alfredo, and 12 pints of pesto, so we're ready to go. And that's just the beginning, so I'll make some more probably tomorrow morning.
This year's event honors first responders, and festival goers are urged to take part.
We're going to make a wall of hearts in the culture tent and let people put the name of anyone working in that field, fire, paramedic, nurse, doctor, you name it, and they can put a wall of hearts just to honor everybody for the crazy year we had.
Festa also honors Rockford's rich Italian-American culture, and there's no better way to do that than by tasting some Italian favorites.
This is like Nona's kitchen. This is like going to your grandma's house and being in the kitchen. Only we got one big kitchen here, so it's fun. It's everybody's family.
General admission is $5 Friday through Sunday. Kids under 7, military active duty, and veterans are free.
This day 56 years ago, the Voting Rights Act was signed into law.
Today, Texas House Democrats joined senators on Capitol Hill to call on Congress to pass the For the People Act. But as DC's Anna Warnicki explains, they're running out of time. She's keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
It's been 3 weeks since Texas House Democrats came to Washington to stop Republicans from enacting new voting restrictions. They plan to stay until the end of the Texas special session. Well, that day is today, but instead of going home, they say they will remain here as long as Congress is here.
25 days ago, we took bold action.
Texas Democratic House Chair Chris Turner and these Texas lawmakers skipped town on July 12th and arrived here in Washington
to urge Congress and the administration to take immediate action.
On the 56th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Turner and the Texans say Congress must pass the For the People Act to create national standards for voting rights.
To safeguard access to the ballot box for all voters in Texas and in every other state.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate plans to take one more shot at passing the voting rights bill before its overdue summer break. Oregon Democrat Jeff Merkley is one of the bill's sponsors in the Senate.
It is wrong, deadly wrong, to deny any of your fellow Americans the right to vote. We have voter intimidation and suppression as a virus challenging the health of our democracy.
San Antonio Democrat Trey Martinez Fisher says the Texans are not going home, at least not yet.
If Congress is in session, we're in session, our job is here, and we will have a significant number of members staying here and waiting day by day.
Republicans are promising to block the bill in the U.S. Senate. And back in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott has scheduled another special session to try and pass the Republicans' voting measures that Texas Democrats oppose. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki. Back to you.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
It's been pretty quiet, but a little more on the muggy side this afternoon, following some of the showers we had very early this morning. You might have noticed the humidity kind of creeping up, not only for today, but also yesterday. And that trend will take us into the weekend and even into next week. A live look with our Mercy SkyTrack camera now out in Rochelle, looking off to the northwest. We've had that mix of sun and clouds, a little haze combined with some of that cloud cover here for us this afternoon. We've been pretty quiet quiet. We had a couple of isolated showers, a few thunderstorms develop in central DeKalb County early this afternoon. But for the last couple of hours, most of the activity has been to the south and up to the north, where they've actually had a few severe thunderstorm warnings just to the west and north of Milwaukee. These are tied into two low pressure systems that will continue to move to the east as we go through this evening. Now, we might see an isolated thunderstorm or two kind of fire up across southern Wisconsin, mainly to the east of Rockford here this evening. But other than that, things will be fairly quiet. If we do see a thunderstorm or two develop, the potential is there for some gusty winds, just given some of that instability that we've had here develop for this afternoon and evening. So let's time this out as we go through the night tonight. Notice we hang on to that isolated shower chance again, primarily to our east here as we go through this evening. After that, it'll be a partly cloudy sky that'll take us into the night tonight. A little bit of warm air along the leading edge of that could get a couple of showers to develop early tomorrow to our north and to the east, and then just an isolated chance for tomorrow afternoon, kind of in and out of that cloud cover for our Saturday. Temperatures today made it to 85 degrees. Will be just a couple of degrees above that for tomorrow, but it'll feel more like the 90s. And that humidity stays with us as well going into the Sunday and then even into next week. Now for Sunday, again, we've got the cloud cover overhead. Isolated shower thunderstorm for the afternoon. Might see a better chance for that arriving once we get into Sunday evening, Sunday night, and then into Monday as an area of low pressure comes closer to us. I think right now that severe threat with the timing of that and coming down just a little later might be on the lower end, but something we'll keep an eye on as we head a little bit closer towards Sunday evening. Let's talk about the pattern next week, because you'll see a lot of lightning bolts on that 7-day. It is a little bit more active, but that doesn't mean that every single day we are going to see rain. What we've got going on in the jet stream is this big heat dome that's developing across the central, southern, and eastern portions of the U.S. High pressure at the surface next week will continue to pump in that Gulf moisture. So that's why we are going to feel a little bit more muggy and somewhat more uncomfortable as far as our humidity goes next week. With the jet stream close by, it does give us that potential for kind of daily chances for showers and thunderstorms going into next week before a cold front comes through. So you can see how that moisture just surges northward into next week, and that's where dew point temperatures climb up to 70, if not above that. So even though our temperatures won't be stifling hot in the 90s for a lot of us, it is going to feel uncomfortable just because of those high dew point temperatures. 84 temperature in Rockford. Rochelle feels like 91 degrees though in Rochelle, and that's because of that dew point number right there in the lower 70s, and we'll have more of that as we head into next week. So 68 degrees for us tonight, a little more on the muggy side. Tomorrow that temperature will climb up into the upper 80s, right around 88 degrees for Saturday. We're still at 88 on Sunday, I should say 87 on Saturday, 89 on Monday, low 90s on Tuesday. I think that'll be the hottest day, and then we'll keep those temperatures, guys, in the 80s as we head into next week.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lepper.
The Cubs don't have much to play for this season, and the White Sox are coasting with the biggest lead in baseball. But the two teams and their fan bases are getting a jolt of juice this weekend with their crosstown rivalry. The first game of the weekend series being played this afternoon at Wrigley. Kyle Hendricks trying for his 14th win. The White Sox still got a pair of RBI singles off him in the 4th inning. Andrew Vaughn is going to get this one to bring home a run. Adam Engel would score. On to the 5th inning, Hendricks was gone. Cesar Hernandez then whacks a 2-run homer. That put the Sox up 4-1. But we had some big-time drama in the top of the 8th. Craig Kimbrell comes on to face his former teammates. Andrew Romine up, and he lights up Wrigley Field as he takes Kimbrell deep with 2 men on. That tied the game at 4. That's where they stand now, 4-4 in the 9th inning. The two teams will play again tomorrow afternoon. The series will wrap up Sunday evening with a game at 6 o'clock, and you can see that game Sunday right here on WTVO. And there's more evidence that this could indeed be Aaron Rodgers' last dance in Green Bay. Fox Sports' Jay Glazer reports that the Packers and Rodgers have a handshake agreement that the Packers will trade Rodgers after this season if Rodgers wants to be traded. The Bears are barely over a week into training camp, and they're running out of offensive linemen. 2 more went down today. Tackles Latavius Simmons and Larry Borum. Both are in concussion protocol. That's 6 offensive linemen who are out, either with injuries or in COVID protocol. Guard Alex Bars has been picking up the slack by moving to left tackle.
we have that mindset of that no matter what happens, we're still going to attack every day as a group together. And like obviously we're dropping guys, but it's kind of a whatever mentality. Next play, like we got to keep going. Like this, we're the offensive line.
And the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL is now Josh Allen. The Bills have given him a 6-year contract extension worth an average of $43 million a year. That's second only to the Chiefs' Patrick Mahomes. Allen led the Bills to the AFC Championship game last season where they lost to the Chiefs. Former Ice Hogs forward Brandon Hagel has some security with the Blackhawks. He has agreed to a 3-year contract. Hagel is coming off a solid rookie season with the Blackhawks. He had 24 points in 52 games. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Candace will have a final look at weather in just a moment.
First, here's a look at what's coming up later on News Nation.
Tonight on the DONLON Report, hundreds of people connected to 9/11 tell President Biden to stay away, why they don't want him at the upcoming memorials. And vaccine passport apps already facing problems. The man who faked his profile explains how he did it. Now here's Leland Vittert with a preview of On Balance.
Thanks, Joe. Re-education camps right in our own backyard. Why some parents fear what's being taught in public school is on par with Chinese indoctrination. That's coming up on Balance tonight, followed by News Nation Prime.
You can catch News Nation tonight on cable and satellite stations you see here. You can also head to newsnation.com.
Our first warning, interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and more. We've got the clouds out there this evening, a little on the muggier side. Might still see an isolated shower or thunderstorm here through this evening. Some gustier winds, but that thunderstorm activity a little more to our north and south here this evening. Temperatures tonight down to 68. We're up to 87 tomorrow. Isolated thunderstorm again for the afternoon. Same thing on Sunday. Better chance Sunday night and then into Monday, clearing up some for Monday afternoon. The heat, the humidity, while we won't see several days and temperatures in the 90s, it'll feel more like it into early next week.
Overnight lows are not very low. Thanks, Candace.
Thank you for spending time with us. Stay safe.